Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his companions, and all those who follow him until the day of judgment. By the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once again we come together inshallah to read, to go through bi'idhnillahi ta'ala the text of Hilya Talib al-Ilm, the ornaments of the student of knowledge, or the etiquettes of the seeker of knowledge. So yesterday we covered the section number 36, which is relaxing the body. And this relaxing the body, we find that it was of the practice of the previous the righteous predecessors, the scholars, that take a few hours, take some time to give your heart a break, right? Give your heart a break between hours. Take a break, stop the routine and just kind of refreshing yourself, right? Go to other places, go to the beach and just reflect upon the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take your spouse to dinner, or just do something different, right, than just studying, seeking knowledge. Take a break here and there. Now, so that was the section that was covered yesterday, section 36 from chapter 5. Now we are on section 37 and 38, inshallah. 37 is precision and the correction, and correction and the correct reading, right? Precision and reading. So now strive to seek precision when reading the text. And this, this applies mainly, of course, in English, but mainly it applies in Arabic. Mainly it applies with the text. And sometimes these texts, right, sometimes the script is not very clear, and you need a person who has mastered that script and that text to be able to clarify that which is unclear. So reading a complete text with a proficient sheikh so you can be safe, right, from distortion and from mistakes, right, and from coming to conclusions that are not what was intended. If you look at the biographies of scholars, especially the Huffaz, and these Huffaz are not the Huffaz that memorize the Quran. These are actually Huffaz that memorize a large portion of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. They memorize hundreds of thousands of sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, and they sought perfection in that. So, and they memorized the Quran as well. It's not that they gave preference to the Quran, to the Hadith. They also already had memorized the Quran and also sought perfection in reading the Quran. Amongst them, you find that they read entire compilations in a few gatherings with a specialized teacher, with a proficient sheikh. Sometimes there is halaqat, there's maqra, there's reading of a particular book of hadith. And we say, well, what's the point in this? Well, there is a benefit in that through the reading, you loosen your tongue, right? If you know Arabic, loosen your tongue, you begin to pronounce words in the proper manner. And there's barakah in that effort, because what you're reading, you're not reading a newspaper, you're reading the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ. So isn't there benefit in that you're reading the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ? Yes. The next thing is that you want to understand the sayings, and then you want to put them into practice. But everything is step by step. It's not a one-way street. So here we find an example. The author, rahimahullah, Bakr Abu Zayd, rahimahullah, gave an example saying, such as Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar Al-Asqalani rahimahullah. He read Sahih Bukhari in 10 gatherings and lasted a total of 10 hours. He read Sahih Muslim in 4 gatherings. And it lasted 2 days for it, and completed Sahih Muslim at noon the next day, which was the day of Arafat. Also, he completed Sunan ibn Majah in 4 gatherings. He completed Mu'jam al-Tabarani al-Saghir in 1 sitting, between Dhuhr and Asr. And his Shaykh, the Shaykh of Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah, Shaykh al-Faruz Abadi, read Sahih Muslim to his Shaykh Ibn Jahbal with precision in three days. He read it with precision in 3 days. And there are many compilations, many astonishing accounts of these types about Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, Al-Mu'tamin, As-Saji, Ibn Abbar, and others. If all, right, and we should refer to the books that give us insight to these men and what was the methodology that they employed, how did they study, how did they act with their teacher, right? And this is what we're trying to, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, get from these lessons, right, so that we can learn. So some of the books that the author mentioned is Siyar al-A'lam al-Nubala, right, by al-Dhahabi. Also Tabaqat al-Shafi'i by al-Subqi. Also Jawahiru wa-Durar by al-Sakhawi. Also Fath al-Mughith. Also Shadarat al-Dhahab. Also Khulasat al-Athar. Also Fihris al-Faharis by al-Kattani, and Taj al-Arus. So to not forget, you're sharing this. So by us reading this, we should yearn to be like these men. These men also lived the deen. These men also applied the deen. Now, these long compilations that we mentioned before, that first focus on the short compilations, on the primary texts of particular sciences, and master those before getting into all the deep explanation. But once you get into the long books, the best thing to do is to summarize these long compilations, right? Summarize through reading. Through your reading, you start summarizing them, and summarizing them is one of the most important matters, because by doing this, you multiply your knowledge, you broaden your understanding, you derive unique benefits from its hidden places, and you gain experience by knowing where issues and topics can be found, and understand the different styles of the author. And this, you will not get the different styles of the author except with someone who is proficient in reading those texts. And also the author's compilations, the way the author writes and the terminologies within them. And the predecessors used to write at the point that they stopped, right? So he does not miss anything. When he recommenced his reading, especially after a long period of time. So the predecessor used to write at the point that they stopped. So they will always, so for example, if someone studied from a particular scholar, right, and that scholar, let's say, passed and stopped, then those that come afterwards will continue from what the scholars is. And this is similar. This is similar than what Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, when he started compiling the al-Majmu', Kitab al-Majmu', right? Yes, the Kitab al-Majmu' is attributed to Imam al-Nawawi, but a part of Kitab al-Majmu', right, was completed by a Subki. So this is something that Imam al-Nawawi didn't write all of Kitab al-Majmu', right? So this is something that shows us the application and the implementation of this that we're talking about, which is that the predecessors will pick up where their predecessors left off, and they will continue building upon that, not destroying what they built, but they continue building upon that, and that shows their maturity. That shows their maturity in dealing with this knowledge, and that shows their mutual respect for one another, right? And that shows, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with benefiting from their ways. So basically, my brothers and sisters, point 37 is precision and correction of one's reading. When one is reading the long text like the Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, right? And having a teacher so that one can loosen one's tongue in reading such blessed text. Also summarizing for yourself, making mulakhasat, right? Of long compilations in order for you to derive benefits, right? It trains you to bridge, to be able to compress information in a small manner, inshallah ta'ala. Bidnillah ta'ala, next session we're gonna cover three small points, inshallah. Number 39, the excellence in asking questions. Number 40 is extremely important. Debating without argumentation. Debating without argumentation. And number 41, revision of knowledge in groups. Revision and knowledge in groups. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with time so that we can spend it in His way, learning His knowledge. Also, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with the ability to internalize this knowledge, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with the ability to put it into practice. And may our application of this knowledge be a means of healing for our beautiful ummah, the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa sallallahu wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa akhir ad-da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh lil jami'ah, to all my brothers and sisters.